Let's continue while previous video is still uploading. It will take some time. We have a really slow internet connection. So we have our instance started, and now we will just create some classic old um, um, dynamic web project. And to do that, we go to the file and choose the dynamic web project, and here's our first dialog box, and here we have to give the name to our project, and let's call it servlets GSP example. Just use the default workspace. Target runtime is our Apache Tomcat server, and the dynamic web module version. That's basically the servlets version, and the as I have the older version of Tomcat and JDK, I do not have the third version. If you have, you can use that, but it's slightly different, and it's based in the configuration of servlets is based on the annotations in a third version. So let's try some old and more classic example of writing servlets, and that is 2.5 version. So you can learn the third version in the some other tutorials if you want. So just a default configuration for Apache, and click the next. Make sure you have this checkbox checked, so that Eclipse will create web XML descriptor. That's our web application descriptor. So click finish. Now we have our project created. Let's open and look at the structure. It has some web services configurations here. It's and this is slightly out of scope of our course, so just skip it and don't let it bother you. So here's our deployment descriptor configurations, cut in more specific ones. So basically the same as editing the web XML file. It just gives us some user interface. If we, for example, choose to configure servlet mappings, and we have some user interface, and of course we can edit the source file itself. So don't let it bother you by now. We will use only things we will need. So here's the folder that holds our source Java files, and that will be our servlets. It's now empty. And the libraries, you should have here the Apache Tomcat 6 libraries, which holds all of Apache Tomcat web server libraries, and another important thing, you should have the JRE system library with the JDK, and the web app libraries are the ones you add by yourself when you need. For example, it could be the database driver for Oracle or for MySQL. So here's some JavaScript resources. Never used it in more detail. So the build folder that holds our compiled build when we compile and release it, and the very important folder is the web content, and it has two folders in it, and the web content is the public folder, and it can be accessed through HTTP protocol. So, but these two folders are not seen as public because they are hidden and secured. They hold essential configuration files like the manifest and our web XML descriptor. By the way, the same. We have configuration in here, and the lib folder that holds our libraries, and the all libraries you add to the application should be included in this folder to build and run our application. So let's open web XML file, and nothing interesting here right now, so we will just create new servlet, and to do that we do right click on the project, new, and we see here the servlet. Let's create it, and if you want, you point the Java package. It can be left empty. That would be the default package. So let me type in something like com example tutorial. The class name of our Java file, let's name it servlet example. And other things we can leave default. Click next, and the most important thing here is the URL mapping, and that's the name using which you will access your servlet through your web browser. So I will change it slightly just to remove the caps, like that. Click OK, click the next, and we do not need the two methods that do mostly the same thing. Just uncheck this box and choose one, the generic service method, to be included in our servlet, and click finish, and Eclipse should create for us servlet and make some configuration in the web application descriptor for us. If you now go to the web content and our web XML, you should see the new servlet are defined, and with our name given, and with our mapping. You see the URL pattern is the servlet example, as we typed previously. So let's clean up it slightly. We do not need the constructor, so just leave the main method service here, and that should be fine. Let's save it. Let me describe what the servlet actually is. It's a basically just simple Java class that has the possibility to communicate via HTTP protocol by extending the HTTP servlet class, and it can request and it can send message back to the client web browser, just like any web page does. And for example, let's try just to send some message to the web browser. So to do that, we retrieve new instance of print writer, and call it out equals response get writer. That's basically the output stream that we will use to send our messages to the web browser client. And now we just use it as simply as in the simple Java applications, like the system out print line and out print line, and type some text here, hello Java, like that. Save the servlet, and let's try to access our servlet in the web browser. Let's go to our web browser. I'm sorry, yeah, it's recording, very nice. And type in localhost, remember your new port number, and now we should what's going on? Now we should point our project and point our servlet. Let's do it another way. Just click to the run, and then run on server. Choose an existing server and make sure you have your Tomcat here and it is started. So choose that, and you can check the checkbox that this dialog will not bother you anymore. Click next, click finish, and something does not work. Maybe let's try to restart our server. Restart the server, and then we'll check again. So it is restarted. Let's refresh our page, and yeah, we get the message from our servlet, and that is hello Java. That is the built-in web browser from the Eclipse. You can always use your own web browser. Just copy the link and type in your web browser, and you will get the same result. Let's continue in the next part. So we will try some more interesting and some more advanced examples. So see you there.